Hello there. Not a live stream this time, but a Wednesday it is. Let's call it the weekly Wednesday live episode 62, even if not exactly live this time. I'm recording this a bit earlier to be posted on the Christmas Day, the 25th, Wednesday. I wanted to wish you happy holidays and well, tell you a little bit about the past year, a wrap up of sorts, I guess. It has certainly been an eventful and at the same time bizarre year for us. I might start from rewinding a few more years back, 5 years back. 2019, I still had 4 luthiers working here besides myself and Emma, so we were a team of 6 people. Then one of us, Lari, decided to leave in 2019, change profession. All done in good spirits, remaining friends and all. Nevertheless, we decided to continue as a 5-piece instead of looking for a replacement. And even if chaotic in some ways at the time, we managed to adapt. And then fast forwarding to last autumn, just some months ago, for a number of reasons, we came to the conclusion that we had to downscale even more. Yanni found another job, and now we're 4. Let me show you. This book from 2009, that's our team back then. Jyrki, Tommy, Emma, and me. A bit younger versions of ourselves. And now the circle has closed. It's the 4 of us again. Pre-2009 lineup team. Simultaneously looking at the big picture, what's going on in the world. While Lari had left in 2019, just some months after, half a year later, the COVID pandemic took over the world. Such a tragedy. So many families losing loved ones and so much grief, suffering. And just as the waves of the pandemic began to fade, years later, Russia invaded Ukraine, 2022, and almost overnight the political tensions skyrocketed, like worldwide, to the past Cold War levels and beyond. And while the tragic Israeli-Palestine conflict has been ongoing for decades, that as well has escalated severely since late 2023. What a bizarre species we are. In the meanwhile, back to our microcosm here in the Harviala woods. All the daily work is now redistributed among the remaining 4 of us, Emma, Tommy, Jyrki, and myself. In addition, Junnu continues to be our IT web guy and my personal clairvoyant, as I like to call him. And from time to time, my cousin Sami still chimes in his role as our artist relations wizard, but for the most part, it's the 4 of us now. This hasn't reflected on our website since Larry left. It was never updated, our company page with the team and everything. So Larry was there. So we haven't probably communicated it maybe as I now feel that maybe we should have. That I'm now doing, and now the website has been updated accordingly as well regarding our team lineup. That's quite a change for us to adapt to within a relatively short time frame for each one of us four. For myself, well, I started the company as a one-man operation 30 years ago. I worked alone for years, and with the growth in the following decades, I ended up working less and less as an actual guitar maker at the shop. It never got down to 0 shop hours, but those close to me know that working more hands-on with the guitars, the woodwork and all, it's been something I've craved for. It's something I've missed. I wanted to do it more, but the way things have developed just didn't leave much wiggle room for me. I did all the stuff nobody else had time to do, ranging from purchasing supplies, materials, fixing machines at the shop, fixing the building, emailing, communications to all directions, running on errands, you name it. I'm not complaining, just kind of explaining a little bit about the background, how things have gone. And now for the past few months, we've done our very best getting reorganized, streamlining the workload, and finding ways to do this with a smaller team. Finding ways to keep this going. I've been working more on the actual build process, hands-on, guitars, basses, more than I've been for over 20 years. And at the same time, it's paradoxical. It's because it's kind of scary to me. I've done it so little, I feel so rusty. And yet, now that I've kind of gotten over that threshold, it's so enjoyable. In some ways, I've become the apprentice of the shop for Jyrki and Tomi. Oh, Juha, you're doing it that way. Wow, I haven't seen it done that way in 15 years. They seem to enjoy themselves while updating and instructing me with the current templates, the jigs, and whatever developments have happened over the past years. And I'm perfectly cool with that. I'm having the time of my life, I have to say, working more on the guitars, on the basses. I think what has happened to us in the past year, more than past year, years, is a sort of a chain reaction that started already long ago. When looking at the big picture, I guess it's a lifelong progress. When younger, I was always the guy who was very organized. I got things done, I was capable of multitasking big time with endless amount of energy. Whenever I was excited and motivated about something, I got a lot of stuff done. And for me, that pool of passion for making guitars, it has never dried. But now looking back, I realized that I've kind of lost access to that pool of passion. Not completely, but in many ways. because when getting a bit older, I've slowly started to notice how exhausting it is to be me. To be me is an, and I haven't really realized this until the past few years more. It's a state of never resting, or my mind is never resting. And in the recent years, this feeling of constant exhaustion started to get a hold of me. It has gotten harder and harder to get motivated anymore, to get excited, to be passionate about the work. I wrote to my diary. I do this diary, daily diary. I've done it for years. Number of times I've written in the past years that I can't even remember how it feels to be motivated, because I feel so tired all the time. So, about a year ago, year and a half maybe, I finally surrendered. Stubborn me surrendered that I need help. I went to my doctor to talk about this, and a long story short, last spring or so, I got an ADHD diagnosis. It's something I guess I've known more or less for a long time, but I've dismissed a need for a diagnosis, because for the longest time, I felt, whoever I am, the quirky bits, such as a possible ADHD brain chemistry included, it's me, it's my superpower. It's not limiting me, it's enabling me to function the way I do. But that superpower, I've come to realize that superpower comes with a cost, and the payback, the gravity of it has started weighing more when aging. And in addition, I've started to understand better the way I am. And for that, I have to be grateful, even though it's kind of feels a bit conflicting to say it, but I'm grateful to the years of the pandemic slowing life down, tying me down to not being able to travel, forcing me to be just enough less busy to observe my life from a new perspective. ADHD for me is like having these 8 or whatever amount of radio channels on loud inside my head simultaneously, and having a bit of trouble focusing into any of the channels in particular. A lot of balls in the air, a lot of things happening, a lot of multitasking. When attempting to focus, I'm extremely easily distracted by whatever impulse or trigger. And I tend to kind of like drift from a task to another, to another, to another. When I eventually do manage to focus, I drop into this rabbit hole. I guess it's called hyperfocus. And deep down in that pit, time doesn't exist. Down there, I feel alive. And when in that state of bliss or flow or focus, I can easily lose myself for 12 hours, whatever hours, without remembering to eat, drink, or anything else. And at the same time, in another kind of situations where there's not so much to do, on those idle moments, pastime, relaxing is difficult. Sitting down on idle makes me nervous instead of calm, causing my mind to race to 10 different directions. Even if I'm on the outside, seemingly kind of sitting down somewhat peacefully. In other words, it's challenging for me to be present here in the moment in those types of situations. Because when I'm on idle, I had bandwidth, free bandwidth, to think of 5 or 6 things. I'm unable to kind of squeeze it down and be there. I've tried so many things. Meditation is torture for me. I've tried. Through my adult life, I've tried to self-medicate, like many undiagnosed ADHD individuals do. Coffee. Yeah, that works to some extent. Alcohol offers a pretty good short-term solution, but on long-term, not so great. Pot seems to work for many, but not really for me. I just get anxious and panicky with it. So no pot for me. Now, since the diagnosis last spring, well, many things have happened, but let's say 2 things I want to point out. 2 things have happened. For one, through that process with my doctor, with all the information available, I understand myself better now. I see the cause and effect. I see the manic depressive ups and downs that could be diagnosed as depression, but manic depressive personality and this and that, but not really always kind of felt like I'm not depressed. I'm just so tired. So yeah, ups and downs in that way. I exhaust myself, I drop. I climb up, I exhaust myself, I drop through my life. And the exhausting back pulling and forward pushing roller coaster that my mind works, I understand it, and I have learned to accept it better. It makes it easier for me to not feel guilty or blame myself. It helps me to not torture myself over and over and over thinking I'm not enough. I didn't do enough. I'm not good enough. I've let others down. That has gotten easier. And secondly, the ADHD medication. By default, I'm not a big fan of the idea of fixing my mind with a pill. My common sense tells me otherwise. It tells me it's cheating and that I should really figure this out without meds. But As mentioned, I have surrendered. I've listened to my doctor and I've given the meds a chance. And I have to humbly admit, it has been a game changer for me. Against my fears, these meds haven't changed my personality. They haven't made me, I don't know, brain freeze or foggy or feel myself somehow drugged. I don't feel any of that. The meds are very mild, but maybe, I don't know. I have no desire of testing what they do if I would take it more. I have no desire of being someone I'm not. I'm aware that there are type of meds that are abused, maybe sold on the street for entertainment purposes, but I have absolutely like zero interest to that. That part of it. Yeah, with these meds, I feel exactly like myself. I can still multitask or hope hyper focus to my heart's desire if I choose so. But that's the significant difference. I have a better control over it all. I am able to choose better where to focus. And maybe the most noticeable part of it, of the change for myself and for my family, is that I'm now able to relax better without my mind escaping to 10 different places when spending time with my family, for example. In our family, we have this tradition that on birthdays, the birthday boy or girl, including us, the parents, um, the birthday hero gets a little treat. Breakfast to bed with a birthday song, a present, a nice little family moment together. So our son Elias turned 13 last spring, and Emma and I followed through the birthday routine. And while we were there, sitting on Elias's bed, we had opened the gift. He had opened the gift. He was eating his breakfast, and I was sitting there on the bedside thinking, oh wow, this is how it feels to be 100% here, 100% present here, enjoying this moment. Without my mind wandering half off to worry about this or that, or planning the rest of the day or whatever. I had the same experience now, Christmas, yesterday and the day before. The family gathered, that things feel more meaningful, and it's not like before I wasn't there at all, or it didn't feel meaningful, but the sensation somehow, the I guess I didn't really very well know what it means to be present 100% before. It's quite a difference. Well, back to the topic, wrapping up the year 2024. I mentioned in the beginning eventful and bizarre, didn't I? Well, instead of focusing to how bizarre and reckless our species, Homo sapiens, behavior seems, in the light of what's going on, the polarizing and the political tensions, whatever. I think for each of us in times like these, it's healthy, it's important to remind ourselves of the good things we have in our lives, of the good in the world, the part that makes life worthwhile. For me, some of the highlights of the past year include the fact that, my family is safe, my family is well, my parents are getting older, but they're getting by, and relative to their age, they're both in quite good health. And the older they get, where me and my brother and the family together were doing our best to take care of the practical side of things so that life would be as good as it can be for our parents for the remaining time they have. My little sister's doing well too, as is my little brother and his family. My brother has a big family, lots of kids. They even have a couple of grandkids. They're doing well. Life is moving on. My wife, Emma, she's doing well. We're happy together. We're in love. Our son, Elias, is growing fast. He has great friends, has really nice hobby. He's a really nice boy, Elias. He's doing well. My eldest son, Salas, is studying to be a composer. And finally, he understood to propose to his girlfriend, Hille. Now they're engaged. If he hadn't, Emma and I would have probably been forced to ask to adopt her soon. My daughter Juno has a steady job, and she has moved together with his boyfriend Yanni. Such a very nice couple and great fit to each other. Happy for them too. Even if things have been challenging at work with all the changes, it has also brought Jyrki, Tommy, Emma and me tighter together as a team. There's lots of work to do, many unknowns to tackle. Not easy things, but the spirits are high and we're doing our best. Thank you, Jyrki. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Lari. Thank you, Yanni, for all the work you've done to make these guitars, basses, this instrument, this shop better. Raising the bar. That's what we always talk about. We're kind of challenging each other to raise the bar. Now the guys are challenging me to raise my bar as a guitar maker. And I'm happy that these changes haven't caused damage to our friendships with Lari and Yanni, who are not working with us anymore here. Life moves on for each one of us. In addition, all the dear friends, old friends, new friends we have. And all the enthusiastic customers we get to work with. Many ordered instruments are currently late of their originally estimated deliveries due to the changes we've had here. Every one of you has been so understanding and supportive. The instruments are progressing, but sometimes our communications haven't been kind of up to par. Kind of, yeah, things haven't gone perfectly all the time. You've been understanding, you've been supportive, thank you for that. So wrapping up the year 2024, the overarching highlight for me is this deep gratitude for all the good things in my life, in our family, at work. I see a lot of good things around me and good people. So, thank you for this year. Thank you. Those of you who have followed my live streams, the weekly Wednesday live podcasts, not very many episodes came out this year, but actually more than the previous year, if I'm correct. Some of you might remember that in the last episode, episode 61, I mentioned that I have some exciting news coming up in November or December, and it's the time optimist me that promised too much too soon. Sorry, I'm keeping you waiting. Whatever those exciting news are, it's real and it's happening, but I'll have to keep it under wraps for a while longer. I hope in January. If not in January, maybe February. Bear with me, please. What I can say is that it's nothing bad, it's nothing negative, sure. I guess I could call it even in some ways, a new chapter for us. In some regards, anyways. Well, at this point, that's all I have to say about that. And other than that, we're continuing, the four of us, we're continuing to do what we do, which is doing our best to solve your problems, to fulfill your dreams. You may have in relation to guitars and basses, yeah. And for now, I want to wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2025. Upwards and onwards. Yeah. Take care of your loved ones. Be well. Stay safe. Peace, love, and good music. Until next time.